Hello and welcome to Business Ethics online course PHI 205-500. My name is Craig Schrotlin. I go by Craig because that's what's on my driver's license. And so I will be your instructor for the next 15 weeks. Well, 16, but we take a week off to go visit family at Thanksgiving. So we will have some fun. We'll talk about some interesting things, some boring things, the usual class. But at the end of the semester, hopefully it will be a class that will be beneficial to your thought processes, how you think, and how you view the world, as well as how you view the business world. So on the screen is basically the home page that you will see when you log into this class in D2L. And if you notice, there's a getting started video. We'll go here. When you log in, this video will be here. So just to kind of let you know. So I'm looking forward to a great semester. I'd like you to read this page. There's important information on this page. And it has to do with if you don't show up to class or do anything in class, you can read all this. But if you don't do anything or do any type of activity towards a graded assignment in the first week of the class, you will automatically be dropped. This has to do with Title IX stuff, sexual harassment, discrimination, et cetera, et cetera. And so please read it. Numbers are in there if you need to get a hold of anybody. That's important. What I'd like to do is I'd like to go over a couple things on this D2L page so you understand what's happening and how it's going to work in this class this semester. So first off, one of the most important pages in this is the content page. And I've set my computer up to be to work as a student, so it gets the student view instead of the teacher's view. I find that to be much more helpful. So under the Getting Started section, I want you to read this, but I want you to look at all this type of stuff. There's some interesting things in here. I think some things that are very important. So one of those things is going to be obviously the syllabus. And on the syllabus, all the information's there. This is where you can email me, or you can email me through D2L. However, if you email me to my frontrange.edu address, which is right there in blue, please make sure you email me from your student account. Please do not email me from your Gmail, your Yahoo, your Hotmail account, etc. And it needs to be from your student account because anything pertaining to the class that has anything to do with academics, grades, class discussions, issues, etc., has to be in a process that can be traced by the school. And so if it's not, and you're not included in your student email address or in D2L, it creates a problem. So just keep that in mind, and we'll work together. This is my cell number. You can call me. You can text me. I actually know how to text. Amazing, isn't it? You can text me. The only thing I'm going to say is please do not call or text after 10 p.m. or before 5 a.m. Any other than that, it's fair game. Give me a call. Give me a text. I have no problem with that. However, once again, if it's something that's pertaining specifically to grades, assignment details, issues in the classroom, maybe an issue you have in a discussion thread because somebody said something that maybe offended you, etc., it needs to be done through the email system, either my Front Range and your student email or the D2L email system. Also remember that I will be emailing you in the email system through D2L. So be watching for emails that will come. They will come on a regular basis. I don't necessarily have an office. I do not have an office at a school, but I can meet with you. We can meet online, which is by Skype or FaceTime if you have iPhone or iPad or a Mac, etc. So those are capacities we can do, and so keep me informed. If you need to meet with me, we can actually have a face-to-face conversation if you need to do that. Also, if there's an issue, please come to me first, because if you go to the people listed below, they're going to ask you if they came to me first. So let's do that, and we'll follow the proper procedure. And in following that procedure, hopefully these people will never need to be contacted. However, if you must contact them, Eric is the first person in the chain, and Deborah would be his boss. And she's the second person in the chain, and then it would go to the Dean of Students of Online Learning. So Kind of keep that in mind. We'll go from there. A couple other things real quick. Everything we do will be obviously in D2L because it's an online class. The Business Ethics Workshop, version 2. Here's the ISBN number. It's available in the college bookstore. If you're having trouble getting a hold of it in the college bookstore, email me and I will actually send you a link to the publisher directly. And we can go for that. I cannot put the link in the syllabus, but if you're having trouble getting a hold of it at the bookstore, I have the capacity to do that for you. So please read through this. Here's the grading structure. I'm going to go over a couple things really quick, and then we're going to talk about some things that are very important. Notice that 51% of your grade is in discussions. So discussions are very, very important, and you need to take them seriously. One of the problems I find in most online classes is students don't take them seriously, and they like to do all their discussions 20 minutes before the discussion closes on the last day of discussions. Will not happen in this class. Okay, you can give me all 4 of your discussions on the last day. You'll get credit for 2 at the most. Okay, that's the way it's set up because philosophy and business is a process, and you have to understand that. Which means you can't happen in just throwing everything in at the last minute. Business doesn't work that way. My wife's an assistant vice president of an almost $1 trillion company in the Denver Tech Center. Okay, it doesn't happen that way. Believe me, I've been a general manager with a $300 million budget, per year budget. It does not happen that way. It's a process. It doesn't happen all at one shot. Our discussions are a process, and we're going to handle them like a process, both philosophically and in a business fashion. So in business, there's deadlines. In our discussions, there's deadlines. So we'll go over that in just a moment. This is the grading system. There's 1,100 points over the entirety of the course. And this kind of breaks it down and gives you details where you can find things. So online discussion guidelines are on page 9. We're going to look at that in a minute. Your reading journals can be found on page, 10. There's 12 quizzes. There's short writing assignments that are found in the D2L on the contents page, and the current issues paper, which can be found on page 11. A couple of things are important. Wikipedia, about.com, YouTube, blogs, etc., are not acceptable. Okay, forms of research, unless I pre-approve it. Okay. But don't email me 20 minutes before the paper's due and say, hey, could this work? Because the answer is no. Okay? Once again, it's a process. You need to treat it like a business. You don't do your entire project the day before it's due. Okay? This is business class. We're gonna work from a business class, and we're gonna talk about it from a philosophical standpoint. So let's keep that in mind. When you're using a web source in a paper, and I'm requiring some type of outside source, if you use a web source, I need the full URL of the exact page that it came from. Okay, so that's listed right there. Keep that in mind. Here's your late policy. You want to read that, some other information. I want to go down to page, what page is page 8, and you have a schedule. On week 1, your first discussion, your initial post must be posted by 11:59 on Thursday. You do not have a reading journal due, though you are expected and required to read chapter 1. Okay, week 2, there's 2 discussions. They have to be posted by Wednesday, and that will be week 2 through 15. Discussions must post by Wednesday, and all discussions will close by 11:59 p.m. on Friday. I do not have discussions open on Saturday and Sunday. Now, you may read them, but you will not be able to post on Saturday and Sunday. You can only read. During the first week of class, that's this week only, there's 2 discussions. Both are graded. The first post must be in by Thursday, and they will close at 11:59 p.m. on Saturday. Week 1 only. Otherwise, it's Monday morning to 11:59 p.m. on Friday night for all of those things. All other than your reading journal, which is due on Wednesday by 11:59, which is the same time that your initial post is due. So in other words, you should have read the material and then you post into the discussion threads. Quizzes and all other writing assignments are due on Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. at the end of the week. So kind of keep that in mind. So this is a detailed, and it should be easy. So here's the big thing I want to talk about. Actually, I want to go back to the getting started section, and we'll talk about this. One of the things important with online learning is to make sure you stay and keep track of what's going on. So I set this up as a manual checklist. So once you've read your syllabus and gone through it, check it, okay? And then when you read the creating a safe learning environment, this is really important. It gives you some really good tips for discussions, et cetera, in an online learning class. Then you click that. Once you've read it, you click it right here, right? So you can go back and say, have I met all the requirements that are due in the getting started section? And if you have, all these should be clicked, and you go from there. Okay. So kind of keep that in mind. I want to go to this. Let's do this first. So every week we have topics. So week 1 is what is business ethics? It's chapter 1. Here's a little bit of a preview for you. Down here, I don't know where my boxes went. I'll have to make sure that they're turned on. I apologize for that. I have some introductory comments. Obviously, I'm in student. Oh, that's why, because I'm in student format and I have these dated. So it won't show yet. But if you click on this, you're going to go to the discussion thread on biographies, right? If you click on this, you go to the discussion topic called Gray Matters. 2 different discussion threads. Both are graded separately. Keep that in mind. They are not graded together. Both have the same requirements. So what's required for one is required for the other. And so once you've done that, you can click it. But that way, each week, as you go through here, each week, you will find out that everything that's due, and if you do all these things, just do this every week. And on week 3, you do what's listed here. And everything that's due, you do, and you turn it in. And if you do that, you'll never fall behind. So it makes it really, really simple and easy. So keep that in mind as you go through it. I want to go back to the online discussion guidelines because to me that's one of the most important things in this class because it's the biggest part of the grade. So each week there'll be 2 discussions except for, I believe, week 9 and week 15. Each discussion will open at 12:01 a.m. on Monday, and other than week 1, it will run to, this should say 11:59 p.m. on Friday. Okay. I think it should be 11:59. I'll check to make sure. Discussion threads will not be open on the weekends. However, you can read them on the weekends. You cannot post on the weekends. Okay. So between Monday and Friday, you must post on at least 3 different days. Okay. No, I'm not going to give you grace. 3 different days. And the reason for that is in a dialogue, you have to have an opportunity for responses. And if we do not respond or give opportunities for response, then it's a wasted discussion. Okay? So in that, you're going to post a minimum of 4 times. You have an initial post, and then you can respond to your classmates' postings. Okay? That should be done on at least 3 different days, a minimum of 4 posts. Okay? And all of them are graded equally. Okay? Other than the biography, you must compose an original message before you can respond to any classmate's post or see any of their posts. So you can't read their answers to figure out how you're going to answer it, right? That's why you read the readings, okay? So you're graded. Each discussion form is worth 20 points, okay? Postings are worth 16 out of 20. Reading was worth 4 out of 20, okay? So if you read 20% or less of your classmates' posts, you get a point, okay? If you read 61% or more, you get 4 points. The reason for this is it shows that you respect what they have to say. Okay, and it's very, very important to me. And what do I learn if I read nothing but my own posts or the 4 little posts that I'm posting in? Okay, we need to read everything and be involved in what's going on in the classroom. So I'm going to stress that very, very strongly. A couple of other things that are very, very important with discussions. Great post. Oh, I agree with you 100%. I couldn't have said it better. Are not considered posts. Those are just accolades and encouragement to your classmates. I'm looking for content. 1-line posts will not be accepted for points. Okay, you can put 100 of them in there. You will not get points. I'm looking for content. Okay, so this is the most important to me. This is the most important thing in the class, this online discussion forums. So keep that in mind. Put forth an effort to make sure you're involved. And together we'll have a great class, a great semester, and I think we'll all be better for it in the end.